I've been here before.
I've been here before cliché. Also, Charlize Theron.
Over and over again, and each time the same question.
When will Netflix's piles of money set aside to make random content ever run out?
I got you something.
Giving someone a book as a gift.
No, Booker, we don't do repeats. You know that.
Cool, so no sequel then?
She'll let me to take one for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I just really suck at taking selfies.
No kidding. This is possibly the worst selfie-taking technique I've ever seen. The grip, the lack of arm extension, crowding the faces at the bottom of the screen. I mean, who takes pictures when not everyone's face is even showing? They should literally revoke passports for this kind of selfie butchering. Also, with all the daily surveillance we submit ourselves to, such as traffic or retail cameras, this touristy bullshit would be the least of Andy's worries.
Hazelnut, not walnut, rose water, pomegranate, Eastern turkey.
Super tasters.
Last time I checked, you had to be American to be in the CIA.
A U.S. citizen, actually, which means you could really come from anywhere. And an accent from a CIA member wouldn't really be worth mentioning. Waving at your sniper. In a movie that's already over 2 hours, did we really need 47 seconds of helicopter porn? I mean, personally, I only need 10 seconds of it to get off. Wait. Movie somehow finds a way to make its location subtitles more distracting than Captain America Civil War. The firing squad really has no one else to blame but themselves for their soon-to-be deaths. If just one of them had seen a single slasher film, they would know once the killer gets back up, you don't stay and fight, you run like hell.
If they'd watch Prom Night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I feel like there are glimpses of cool action moments in here, and I almost want to give a sin off. Except apparently every action movie now has attended the Marvel School of Editing things, and cuts so much I can barely figure out what the hell is going on. Bringing whatever this is to a gunfight.
I checked them completely. Everything seemed legit.
Andy went out of her way to erase a terrible selfie earlier, so these four clearly go out of their ways to protect their identity. The fact that this was such a huge screw-up should clue them in to Booker possibly being involved, but we've got another 90 minutes plus to get through, so of course it doesn't.
The world can burn for all I care.
Twitter. Yeah, take that, Rocks. This is how you know I mean business. Taking candy from a stranger. But also, double bubble gum, both for the gum having no flavor past the fourth chew and also spelling double like bubble. Here's 2 cents for the trouble.
Women are holed up at the house with the arches.
I mean, you can just say McDonald's.
You do not disrespect your family by telling us where he is.
Telling someone what their religious and or societal belief should be.
Help, please?
This movie essentially takes away my she survives this card, and I refuse to forgive it.
What did you see? I saw part of a name tag.
It's a nice bit of world building to have them all have flashes of any newborn immortals, but it's especially convenient. Even if you buy into some mystical force connecting them, why does that force give them different visions from different angles? Where is astral projection camera, and why? Also, do these people have to die before other immortals can sense them? That seems kind of bullshit, right? I've seen Charlize's body push bullets out, so why do these earrings get to stay? I must know more about Charlize's body, for science. Joe is quite the sketch artist, which makes sense because of immortality and such. But could he really have done this level of detail and shading on this entire picture in the minute or so since they woke up? Also, where is the convenient name-obfuscating blood spatter on Niles' chest badge right after it happened? That's some plot tension bullshit right there. And not even important bullshit. So what if they knew her full name? Would that really have changed anything about how quickly they found her? In case you confused it with London, Ontario, which also has the Tower Bridge, and the Shard, and the River Thames, and...
Now, all of this is because of everyone's favourite love to hate.
Sudden Dudley Dursley?
You've seen my research. Now you know they're for real.
I really want to know how this research even started. According to Copley, he started this 2 years ago after his wife died, but who wakes up one day and says, you know what I think? I think there are immortal beings living among us, and then finds enough promising information from history to know that for a fact.
I'll consult with Keen, make a plan, make it happen. And quickly, before my competitors get wind of this.
So is this rich, whiny, overgrown child really our big bad? These are immortal beings that have probably made several enemies over their lifetime. We even soon find out there's another immortal that has been trapped on the bottom of the ocean for hundreds of years and is probably insane. Why couldn't she be the villain of this movie? Why did it have to be Big Pharma? What the hell is up with these people? If I found out I had a friend who was immortal, I would be less scared and more excited for all the immortal jackass-style videos we could make. I'm adding 10 sins because Niles' friends aren't fun. I know Andy's a badass, but can she stealthily beat up 2 soldiers, take Nile, and get off the base with her without being seen?
Who are you? Andromeda Scythian.
Do humans have an off button on the side of their neck? Because I feel like we would have known about it by now.
But you can call me Andy.
finishing conversations with the unconscious.
Why does it have to be so goddamn slow the first couple of times?
Because movie? Also, this doesn't seem to take any longer than it did for all of them to heal back up in the Sudan incident. Judging by the blood on the back of her head, we can assume that was a through-and-through headshot with a decent-sized exit wound. So, did the magical healing powers also repair these incredible braids?
Is this even safe?
Does it really matter?
Yes, for one, you don't want to experience the horrible pain of a crash, even if you can survive it. Second, what happens if the wreckage puts you in a situation where you can't get out and you're stuck there for eternity? Much like Andy's immortal friend who I'm not supposed to know about yet. Plane is angled nose up from the outside, but completely level on the inside.
You said you had answers.
I didn't say you'd like them.
Director's discussion with the screenwriter makes it into the script.
You don't speak Russian, do you?
Why?
Because I told the pilot to play dead.
Russian foreshadowing. For Russian? Rush-shadowing? Chekhov's Russian? Also, didn't she still actually shoot a bullet toward the cockpit of the plane? Or did Andy have a blank loaded for just such an occasion? Either way, this plane is all the dome. Cheating.
How are you all in my dreams?
We dream of each other. They stop when we meet.
Why?
I believe it's because we're meant to find each other.
But you gotta die first. I don't know why. It's probably because our collective immortality is writing a screenplay. Also, there's no good reason why those dreams would stop just because you meet. Like, if you drifted apart for a while, why wouldn't those dreams kick back in, since you're supposed to be together? It almost sounds like it's an excuse so that the characters in the movie can't be clairvoyant when they do get separated.
Well, how old are you?
Ask a woman how old she is.
One day your wounds just don't heal up anymore, and we don't know when or why.
Can I guess? Is it related to dramatic tension in the movie's narrative? Am I close?
Her name was Queen.
And we're going to tell you about her, but she will not factor into this film at all because we've got to set up franchises and movie making in the 21st century, yo.
I've never been burned alive before. What do you think it's gonna be like?
Excruciating.
Movie is generous enough to give us a glimpse of how it would have played out if Eli Roth was the director. Wait, why aren't they putting both Quinn and Andy in these Iron Maidens?
After Andy escaped, we spent decades searching for her.
But you knew exactly where Niall was because of your gnarly immortal radar. And I think a couple of people on this team never met Quinn, so the meeting rule doesn't apply here. Why wouldn't you be able to find her using your immortality radar, some metal detecting equipment, and possibly James Cameron? Also, you guys are really glossing over how Andy escaped that situation. This is like telling the story of the Shawshank Redemption, and you showed that Andy's trial, and immediately after that say after Andy escaped, he went to visit a friend in Mexico.
Over 500 years in a box. At the bottom of the ocean. Would make anyone insane.
Damn, this drowning over and over again for 500 years is some of the most messed up shit I've ever heard in a movie. It's almost worth a sin off. But then again, it made me sad. I don't like being sad, so...
Me and those 3 men in there will keep you safe.
Like Quinn?
I don't care how scared Niall is. That was a shitty thing to come back at Andy with. I'm supposed to like Niall, right?
What signal?
You'll know it when it comes.
Character acting purposely vague in a dramatic situation, even though clarity would be helpful for everyone cliché. Gratuitous Charlize kicks ass and uses her wits and a sword to kill dozens of armed specialists who attack single file for some reason, while annoying pop music plays in the background is awesome. I mean, gratuitous.
I love this man beyond measure and reason. He's not my boyfriend. He's all and he's more.
This isn't honest to God. Rodin.
Art nerds.
Did you know him?
Probably biblically.
King Rodan.
Together we shall do such things, what they are yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. Lear. Shakespeare.
Explaining your references. Also, sports coats with hoodies.
Mr. Merrick, this is about science, not profits or sadism.
Says the man who willingly assisted in the capture and kidnapping of 2 innocent people. Maybe Chiwetel's character in this film isn't more evil than the one in Serenity, but he's much grosser here, because they actually try to infuse some kind of moral mind game into his kidnapping and torture shenanigans. I think Jigsaw's ethics are more valid.
Just because we keep living doesn't mean we stop hurting.
And Niall knows this. She watched Booker in extreme pain after the soldiers attacked the church, so why would she do this?
I had 3 sons.
I would give all the sins back if we found out at the end of the film that Booker is just telling stories based on characters Fred McMurray played.
And they won't believe you, of course.
But couldn't you just cut yourself with a steak knife and do the magic Healy thing in front of them? This does not seem like a condition where first-hand proof would really be an issue.
Do you have a bathroom?
No, but we have a storeroom.
The scene where Andy meets the Clara Barton of drugstore clerks goes on for all the some time. Also, earlier you deleted a random selfie from a stranger's phone, but now you're just going to go shopping at a drugstore that's sure to have video surveillance? This movie is 38% flashbacks to scenes that have no bearing on the main storyline.
I can't remember what my mother looked like, or my sisters.
And just after some expositional backstory from Niall, Andy heads into another round of her own. Look, these are great character moments and all, but I'm pretty sure at this point that the movie may be more backstory than front story. And that's probably a sin.
Guys, I found something.
I get that Booker doesn't want to give away that he's in on this with Copley and Big Pharma, but it's been a long time since Joe and Nikki were taken. Could he not have pulled this I found something act any sooner? Oh look, this field already has tracks for both the car and the vehicle that's filming the car, just like all normal fields.
My family, they're gonna get old and I won't. But it'll be years before they realize that. I still have time with them.
Yeah, but you're a Marine who's gone AWOL, and the government wants to lock you up and test you, so I doubt you'll be spending any time with your family if you take this route, Niall.
Empty?
Yeah, convenient catch there, Niall. But also, how did Andy not know it was empty? After all her experience, wouldn't she be able to tell by the weight of the gun? I mean, that's what In the Line of Fire taught me, and if you can't trust Clint Eastwood, who can you trust?
Andromache the Scythian, the Eternal Warrior.
Is it possible this movie is just scenes cut out of the Hancock script cobbled together to form a different story? Because I'm starting to think it is. Here's the problem with these serial killer dream board layouts. So much stuff ends up on top of other stuff, and then you end up with a random unnamed torso, a completely obfuscated map, and an article that you can no longer even read the headline of. If only there were a way to digitally store all this information for quick access.
I'd learned your secret history, written in the margins, passed on like legend.
Man, they are really choosing to blah 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 over how Copley obtained all this knowledge. His investigation into Andy and the Immortals would have been at least 87% more interesting than the movie we got. Also, the movie should have been titled Andy and the Immortals.
Andy, look at me. Look at me. Why didn't you tell me?
Is Booker really confused that Andy didn't tell him anything? She hasn't exactly been a fountain of information up to this point. Also, she says,
Wouldn't have changed anything.
but that's not entirely accurate. If he knew she was no longer immortal, Booker is probably not shooting Andy. Keeping this secret from the people closest to you makes absolutely no sense and might be the biggest you to logic in the entire movie. Also, good thing he didn't shoot Andy in the head, huh?
What do you mean, not immortal?
I mean, it's gone.
You know, for reasons.
Look, if it's true and she's somehow not immortal anymore, then she might not survive the testing. This'll be murder.
As if the CIA never disappeared anyone.
Merrick must have an invisible mustache on that villain face of his because he's twisting it so hard he might as well be in a Bond movie.
Who are you?
Why would Niall shoot herself? He knows who Copley is and what he knows. Simply saying, I'm one of the Immortals would have worked just as well.
Montenegro, 1916. She saved a family of refugees whose daughter would discover the technique for the early detection of diabetes.
Yeah, but he's only talking about the people that did good deeds after they were saved. You know Andy saved at least a few assholes who caused way more harm than good. You can't justify your thesis if you only mention the items that prove it and leave out the ones that disprove it. This journalist couldn't come up with a better nickname for Andy than Death Cheat Woman.
Is she alive?
I know where they are.
Answering the question, is she alive, with I know where they are. Also, this makes even less sense why Merrick chose to let Copley live, especially considering he's said several times he's concerned about his competitors getting wind of this.
You should get out of here before the noise starts.
Thing my college girlfriend said to me when I walked in on her and my roommate somehow makes it into the script. The movie chooses to show the entirety of this elevator ride. I don't know how Niall would know how quickly she would rise back from the dead, but she's moving like she's in no pain. And we've seen the Immortals suffering several times in this movie while their wounds are healing. Repeatedly kicking someone you cannot kill. To be fair, Andy just wanted to ask him a question.
What happened in Sao Paulo in 1934?
1834. You'll see.
And when she says you, she means the audience, because when you're talking to tactical partners about the battle plan, you don't tiptoe around spoilers. This might not be the point of the scene, but I think this car is illegally parked.
100 years from today, they'll meet you here. Till then, you're alone.
Considering the amount of sequel baiting this movie has done, I somehow feel like this punishment might not stick.
I'd be honored.
Then let's go to work.
The Old Guard 2, Old Garter.
Wendy, I'm home.
For some reason, you all want to wear the CinemaSins Pitchfork M on your body. So we slapped that f***er on some new merch and threw it in the store. Posters, hoodies, socks. Click on the merch below the YouTube player or click the store link at cinemasins.com.
I'm getting strawberry. I'm getting kiwi. I'm getting a big hit of Kiwi.
I was born in Boston. Moved to London when I was 3.
You sound like you're from London.
Stay with me. Look at me.
You're gonna be okay.
You'd rather we sent her home in a body bag?
Get him a body bag! Yeah!
Now, all of this is because of everyone's favorite love to hate, Big Pharma. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
You said you had answers.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You're one of us now.
One of us. One of us. Global gobble.
Do you know what your sin is, Doctor?
I wonder if you...
It's pride.
You're another one.
I'm new and improved.
I've seen it, Andy. I know all the good you've done.
Now, you gotta promise to take good care of these guys. They mean a lot to me.
Let's not stand on ceremony here. Mr. Wayne.